Hey guys, welcome to the farm. JC Mason here. I am so excited to be teaching y'all how to make all natural beeswax candles. Everything you're going to need is listed below, including a recipe for 2 candles, but I will also include the percentage so that you can make as many candles as you want. Even start your own candle business. If you have any questions, please comment below. Enjoy the video. I want to share with you guys some of my frustrations in making candles. I only use beeswax, and I do use a little bit. I'm going to be melting down some coconut oil, some unrefined coconut oil, to mix in and put in these jars. I have 2 kinds of jars here. They're the same width of the diameter of the mouth of the jar. So I've got the amber glass and the clear glass. Because I'm out of the clear glass. Things are getting a little bit harder to find, but I will list these down below, where I get them. So what I have here is some beeswax. So this is a beeswax that I had gotten from an apiary. And this is beeswax that I got online that is pure beeswax. It's just been filtered and filtered and filtered and filtered. This is basically filtered to the point where you can make candles, but it's not filtered to this extent for sure. I want to show y'all what I have here. This is a block of beeswax. There we go. This is a block of beeswax that I had gotten from my local apiary, and I'll show you. I need to filter this. Do you see that? It's got all kinds of, maybe some bee legs in there, some propolis, all those things that are in a hive that can get in the wax. And this I will be rendering again. Probably I might go through it twice, but anyway, this is what we're working with today because this is ready to roll, and I'm going to share some tips and things I've learned along the way. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning making candles. I thought you could just you get some beeswax and you melt it down and you pour it, you put your wick in and you pour it and you have a candle, and that is far from reality. It's not that way. Everything matters. And so what I'm giving you today, the diameter of, the size of your wick. You need with beeswax, and that's all I use beeswax. You really need a special square braided wick. And this is a steel rod inside, so there's no aluminum or anything that's toxic. I'm sharing this with you because I have tested these and tested these and tested these, and this is what works with this diameter of container, of jar, with this mix of oils and of coconut oil and beeswax. Now I add the coconut oil, it helps it burn nice, it helps it keep from splitting. Sometimes you might get a little splitting when you get closer down to the end of the jar, but one of these candles has lasted, I've tested it at 55 hours. So beeswax is amazing. It is non-toxic. It actually helps purify the air when it's burned and pull down pollen and different allergens in the air and pull them down so that you're not breathing them. Pretty amazing stuff. So let's get started. I'm going to give you a recipe. So I'm going to put this in a double boiler, just like I do when I melt my oils down for soap. And I'm going to melt this down. And I'm going to make sure I melt it down to where it's melted, but not, I obviously don't want it boiling or anything like that. It's just gonna melt down. I might shoot the camera up a little bit so you can see. I'm gonna pour this in and start getting it melted down. Then we're gonna get our jars ready and prepped. And I already have my essential oils measured out, and I'll melt down my coconut oil as well. Once this starts getting melted down, I'll put my coconut oil in. Okay, along with I'm wearing gloves, so let me explain this. I normally don't wear gloves when I make candles, but I sliced my thumb today, and I thought, I have a Band-Aid on it, but I'm just wearing the gloves. So this is gonna be fun to see if I can actually put these in the candle and, without anything sticking to my glove. So this will be fun. These are glue dots. Now, you can dip this in your melted beeswax and push in and to get it to stick. I haven't had any success with that. So this has been the best thing, are these little tabs. So you see the little tab, the little glue thing there. So I'm just gonna take my wick, my number 6, and see how it's stuck on there. And then I'm gonna find the center. Finding the center is important. I'm gonna straighten out my wick. And then I'm just gonna find my center. And sometimes you can get, you know, a skewer or something and just push it down really good in there. And then I'm gonna use my grandma's old, which have been washed, by the way. These came from her clothesline. And I just put that in there. They have fancy little metal clips you can do. I've seen YouTubers make a round thing that fits on top from like their, whatever that system they use to cut things and make all different kinds of stuff. But that's pretty much it right there. So let's do the rest of these. I'll show you a couple more. I use essential oils. Essential oils, studying essential oils and what goes well together is important when you're doing, I mean, if it's your own home, to be honest with you, I like a pure beeswax candle and no scent. For me, I love that. But if you're gonna use essential oils, then you really want to make sure you have something from each category of your essential oils. For instance, I have geranium, peppermint, lavender, and cedarwood in mine. So I have oils that are gonna blend well together and smell good, obviously, but also help sustain and help remain in your final product and have a good, well-rounded scent. See, it's like that. First time I did candles, I had like these little flimsy, you know, I didn't know. I thought, I'm just gonna make candles. And I had about 40 small, like 4-ounce candle jars that would not burn. It just welled right up all the way down to the wick, to the base of the wick, and it didn't burn the wax because it wasn't strong enough. This is burning fuel, and if you have too much or too little ability for it to do it, it's going to either spring out and be too, you know, burn too fast and too much, and that's dangerous, or it will go straight down to the center and not be a nice candle at all. I candle tested, actually, if I do any new fragrances or natural fragrances or essential oils, I have to do a test. I don't just, oh, let me throw this in here and this will be a candle. Nope, it's got to be tested. So my percentage, and I'll put the recipe down below, everything that's going to be, everything I'm doing, and also the percentages. All right, let me finish getting this together and we'll get our wax and pour, start working on pouring our essential oils and everything ready to pour. Here's a little tidbit. I use a heat gun, like these. This is the container I use to pour my wax in once it's melted, and then I measure out my essential oils, and then I'll be able to pour in the prepared jars. But I wipe my after I use the heat gun, and I wipe out my container, my glass container. I have these paper towels with wax on them. Put these in a plastic baggie, you know, let them sit out and dry. Put them in a plastic baggie. They're great fire starters. We do campfires here on the farm, and I'll take a strip of this, throw it in, light it, and we got a good fire started. It's a great little tidbit to, you know, not throw things away that you can use. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a shot. So there's my pan sitting within water. So we got a little ways to go, but I'm keeping it, you know, not at a high temperature, just low. But yeah, that's my setup. And the same way when I'm doing soap here, making soap, I have my oils melting there. So what you see, if you see any, I don't know if you see the smoke, that's just the hot water. It is actually dropped in temperature here because there's my little fireplace thing. That is out of propane, and my husband's he's doing overtime, because when you have dreams, you got to do overtime. And I need to really get these in. I might actually even take the heat gun and warm these up so that when I pour the wax in, it doesn't harden just so fast, you know. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. Okay, it is melted. You're gonna get kind of a ring from stirring. It's gonna cool, especially in my temperature in my soap lab right now. It is way cooler than I want to be making candles, to be honest. So here's a trick. It's gonna be a little loud, but you can take the heat gun and just heat the glass you're gonna be, or the container you're gonna be pouring your wax into. And you can use, I don't use aluminum in anything. I don't use aluminum to cook. I don't use aluminum for, you can't use it in soaping anyway. It has a bad reaction with lye, but I just use stainless steel or the glass for candles. All right, so I'm gonna pour 16 ounces of my oils in here, of my beeswax and coconut. The 16 ounces, which would equal, and I'll show the math on the screen here, because you want to use 7% within this recipe. It may change with different essential oils or fragrance oils. That's why you do candle testing. But with this, basically, I use a 7% essential oil, fragrance, natural fragrance oil to how many ounces of beeswax I'm doing. Just like soaping, this is a great tool. I'm gonna see where I'm at. The room is throwing my temperature. It's not 72 degrees. It's gonna be hotter than that. So I'm gonna have to really watch how this beeswax behaves. So typically you want, beeswax melts at 160. I would like to pour about that. So I don't know what my temperature is right now. I'm going to pour this into here and we'll pour our essential oils in. Okay, so I want 16 ounces and hopefully it stayed pretty good. It's already starting to coagulate on the side and thicken up. I'm gonna put this back in the hot water so I can get it to stay fluid. And you're gonna start noticing it's already getting to almost a pour. I wish I can get a good reading on this. See, it is not 69 degrees. That's wrong. I know it's not. This would not be fluid if it was 69 degrees. All right, let me get my container here, my stirrer. All right, and I'm going to take my heat gun because it's already starting to do its thing. I'm just gonna get the sides. Okay, just so you know, if I had, if the temperature in this room was warmer, it wouldn't be all this trouble right now that it's doing. Okay, so I'm gonna tear that out. I'm gonna add my 1.1 of essential oil, and you'll watch, it'll start getting really crystallized. I don't know if you can see that, but I can't move it yet. Hold on, I'll show you. There we go. 1.2. Look at that. So that's gotten hard. It's just the temperature in this room. And so I'm gonna get that in there and start melting it and just mixing it. And I'll get my heat gun back out again and start working. Oh, it smells good though. I put it on low and I'm just gonna start just kind of melting that down. I don't wanna heat it too much because I don't wanna burn off my essential oils. So I'm just gonna give it a little burst there and then bring it back in. We're gonna be pouring here soon. I want every last bit of chunk out of here. I don't want anything left. And I might, as I'm stirring and melting this, I might have to hit it with the heat gun again. We're gonna be able to do at least 2 candles. Now, when you do the pour, you wanna be able to do the pour in one pour and move on to the next candle. It's not the end of the world if you end up having to go in and fill in. I'll show you how to fix that, but sometimes it can make sinkholes and uneven tops, and the heat gun will come in to play again there too. Let me make sure I got all my, I see one chunk there. Okay, we are finally ready to pour. This is definitely going faster because of, my beeswax is heating up or cooling off faster because of the room temperature. I did blow these with the heat gun in hopes that I can just do a nice even pour. I don't want to rush it. I just want to pour it in nice and get right up to the lip. This will recede a little bit, so I go right to the lip. I don't want to move that right now. I'm gonna go right in with this one. And I'm hoping I measured that pretty good, so I don't want to have to go back in and right to lip. Good. Now I'm going to set this in the water. I'm not going to move these. I'm going to leave them right there, right where they're at. And I may do a little fast forward here. Well, it's the next day. I didn't even mess with these. I poured them and we ended up making 5.5. And I usually have a little bit in the recipe so I can have the candle for myself as well. And I'll show you how to cut these. We can take these off now. The best thing to do is not to mess with your candle after you pour it, not to move it. Because of the room temperature, in the room, you know, it was just so cold in here, which that's not normally how I do candles. I did get some sinkholes. So that's just where it has cooled and heated in different spots. And that's where this gun comes in, where all you have to do is just evenly, and I'm gonna do it before I cut this, evenly take your heat gun, let it warm up a little bit, and there you go. And just evenly go around, and it will slowly start to melt and smooth out the top. Okay, I just put the thing back on for the wick, and nice smooth top. And once it dries a little bit more, I don't want to cut my wick yet, I will cut that wick. I did the other two. There were 2 other ones that had some little sinkholes in them. So you want to cut your wick. See how long this is. And I've saved these because I have little wick ends, that the little metal pieces that I can make another wick with. It's just smart to do. You want to cut it about 1/4 inch. You don't want a long wick, like that. And then once you light it, and that can actually be even a little shorter, but once you light it and let it burn for a while, and to put out your candle, you don't want to blow out your candle. You want to take, I have a metal snuffer out or whatever, and dip your wick into the wax and lift it back up. That's how you're supposed to really put out a candle. You don't want, you know, the smoke and all that stuff coming into your house. It's just a simple, easy way. There we go. And I'll show you how I package mine. I'm gonna put my lid on. These are my labels from Canva that I've made, and online labels. And yeah, that is my candle, beeswax candles. Again, just a takeaway from, you know, watching me make the candles. It was definitely the temperature in the room that gave me a little bit more problems than what it will for you. The thing is to remember that if you try a different fragrance, a different essential oil, testing is really what it comes down to with the candles. That's what you need to do to make sure that, I'm gonna cut mine because I'm gonna use mine soon, but that's really important. You wanna make sure that you have the right wick, which again, if you don't have these jars, I'll list these below, the clear ones and these. They're kind of been back and forth on hard to get, but if the diameter is the same, then you're going to be good to go with the wick, with the number 6 wick. And again, I'll list that down below as well. So I'm going to get to packing orders. Let me know if you've enjoyed this video, if it's helped you in any way. If you have any questions, let me know. Look how smooth this one is. I just got that one. Nice and smooth. Weston's going to help me pack some orders here. We've got lots to do, that's for sure. And he's saying hello off camera. I'm gonna finish labeling these. I let these cure for 10 days. I had to make some because I sold my last one the other day. So I had to make some more. I sold my last one yesterday actually. So I wanted to have some more to be ready to sell in 10 days. And I'll test this one out. Just let them sit. I'm gonna let these finish cooling, but yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, and share. Let me know if there's something else you'd like to see. Be blessed. Bye.